And finally, to show you that some of you know me because you're an author in the Start Over book series. They became a #1 book series all over the world. First 6 volumes, #1 all over the world, which is incredible, right? And the proof of this in terms of the offer, well, since November 24 to the 31st of October, one of my company's online CEO, which purely sells the Start Over movement, has done £700,000 in sales. And Brand Story Publishing also does it for the UK market, has done £200,000 in sales. These are the Stripe screenshots today. So that's 1.3 million US dollars in the last less than a year. And salespeople have brought that money in on Marco's team. And Marco Fernandez is a very dear friend. I've known Marco, I think about 3 years now, right, mate?
Working together just over, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
Marco
But
is,
no,
and you can
I
see some
followed.
background. He's in Portugal. That's where he's based. He's half Portuguese and half English. Don't blame him for that. That's the way he is. He's a fantastic salesperson. He's a brilliant, yeah, I would say one of the best sales directors I've ever met in terms of building a team, training a team, and getting a team to perform, right? He's a
Oh,
beautiful man. Make sure you give
oh.
him the respect he deserves. And I will see you soon, guys.
Guys, so what I was saying is thank you to Sir Marco for introducing me like that and edifying me. He is an absolute genius when it comes to marketing. When we connect together, marketing and sales, if you have good marketing and good closing techniques, which can be learned, by the way. Salespeople aren't born salespeople, they're made, they study. And what we're talking about here is we can pretty much systemize anyone that wants to be a closer to be a closer. And I'm going to be pulling back the curtains over the next 5 days of exactly how we do that. I'm going to be showing you a bit of the how. So the collaboration with Sir Marco has been amazing. Our team have collected over 745 grand with upsells and other stuff that Marco's been selling. That's been 1.3 million that he showed you earlier. And that's in 11 months, guys. And well, who here is excited by that? Because if you imagine, we picked up this campaign 11 months ago and we have turned over 1.3 million, 745 indirect sales. Who wants to know how we do that? How do we do that? Who wants to know this? Put it in the chat, please, guys. Let me see if you're excited. But write in the chat, please, guys, who's excited about seeing how we do this? Because there is a system. And over the next 5 days, this is what we'll be covering. Today, a bit more about what high ticket sales is, how it's evolved, what's the mindset to be a high ticket closer, because you're working from home, right? You're working by yourself. You're working the hours you want to work, which is great. So if you want to earn more money, you open up your diary. If you don't want to earn so much money, you might have more time off, family, friends, you close your diary down. So I'll be talking about what the mindset is today, a little bit more about me and my story, so that you know that you're in the right place. We've just met, so I'd like to share a bit more about how I got here and how you can get here too as a budding closer or a business owner, because today, the system we'll be discussing is applicable for anyone who wants to be a closer and work from home and run their own business as a closer. No costs, right? It's free. Or as a business owner, if you want to get more skills in closing, because sales, as you know, is the bloodline of every business. We need to have those sales coming in regularly to grow, to scale. So this is an interactive session here, guys. So over the next 5 days, I'd like to see a bit of interaction so that we can show you. We're going to be pulling back the curtains on how we do this. Okay, who's excited by that, by the way? If you're excited, please type in the chat, because we are going to be explaining on day 2 my $200 million sales system. Right? Now, why do I call it my $200 million? Because as the name implies, this system has created over $200 million in either traceable, identifiable sales from us or the teams that we have trained along the way. Okay. It's the same system that I'll be showing you today that hundreds of closers are using it to talk one-on-one, and thousands literally that have learned this system online. Okay. So you're in good hands. You're in the right place. We're going to learn some cool stuff as we go on this challenge. And day 3, we're going to show you how to get a complete stranger on a Zoom call that you've just met to resonate with you immediately that they meet you. In the first few seconds of them meeting you in under a minute, how to get someone to resonate you, how to stack the deck in your favor, right? So when you get on a call, you're getting the best response from everyone you meet. And I've seen thousands of examples of this live on the recordings to show that this works, and it works every time. Okay. That's on day 3. All right. Day 4. And by the way, we're going to be having on day 2, we're going to be having day 2 is a big day, by the way, guys. Day 2 is probably the most important day of this challenge, apart from day 4 and 5, when we put it all together into closing into the sale, you know, the front end of the business, the pointy end of the business. But tomorrow, very important that you bring your pens and your papers, okay? Because I'll be pulling back each step, and there is a step, there's a psychological process to sales, and each step of that process, I'll be revealing to you guys tomorrow, all right? Presentation, the best way for who's in the group. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so right now we've got 24 of us in at the moment, 24 of us in at the moment. And to answer your question, Stella, it's a 5-day challenge. We'll be going through the certification a little bit later. Marco will be covering that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this is a quick snapshot of what we'll be doing over these 5 days. And I want every single one of you that attends these 5 days to walk away with a greater knowledge of sales and how to close sales, how to communicate with people to get the best out of them and close anyone that's closable. Okay, everybody on this 5-day challenge, we're going to be together for 5 days. So there's a lot of learning to be had here, and there's plenty of time to ask questions. But if just attending these 5 days, you will come out of here learning a lot. Okay, there's a lot to this. Selling is an art, you know. It's and most salespeople don't practice this art. You know, they don't. You know, if you go to any sales job, most of these people are wingers. All right. And when you practice sales and you get good at it, you can pretty much write your own ticket. You can work pretty much wherever you want to and achieve pretty much whatever you want to. And I'll show you in my journey exactly what I mean. Okay. So what this challenge does not include is it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. There is work involved to become a high-ticket closer. Now, if you do it with a mentor, it's faster. You don't have to read the books that I had to read and take all the years of failure to get to where you want to get to. You know, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. There are no shortcuts here. It's hard work and working smart, okay? Working smart with a process that works every time you apply it well with a person that is closable, okay? That means the marketing is important, but when the person comes in that has a problem, we have the skills to bring that problem out of the client into a solution that we can provide to them with our offer, okay? And I'll be going into all of this as we go along. Okay, because there is a psychological process to sales. And once you crack that code, okay, once you can really bring out those pain points in the client, okay, because the client, you know, rookie closers, they don't like to speak about pain points because it's painful, because it's awkward, right? But mostly that is where the biggest motivation is for that client to make a change, okay? Note this down, guys. From frustration comes change. Okay. So there is a psychological process to getting the client to understand that they have a problem. That's why they're here on the call. Okay. So my system will cover this and will show you exactly step by step how to uncover the important pain. If you've got a toothache, it's very, very painful. Right? You go to the dentist straight away and get it fixed, right? You don't wait around. So the bigger the pain, the more people will change. And we'll show you how to do that, okay, in the $200 million system. Now, this system has been developed by me by over 37 years of professional selling. Yes, 30. I know I don't look that old, but I started selling when I was 14 years old. I've read over, genuinely, we've counted this up, the webinars, the training courses, the blogs that I've subscribed to over the 37 years, well, it's actually about 28 years, that I have been self-developing. I have read over 500 of these books because I get passion for it. I read my first book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it doubled my sales. And I got, wow, if I can read one book, then I can achieve this, right? But then it wasn't until I got a mentor that actually fast-tracked it for me. But we'll go into that in a second, okay? I'm a triple master of NLP. What does that mean? That means that I have been on training courses 3 times of mastery of NLP because I was working as a coach for the NLP trainer, which I created myself, okay? So this system that I'll be sharing with you is based on deep psychological know-how, process, okay, and cutting away at the unessential.